Okay, so in our book, page 136, we have some pieces to start us off with. We have some blanks I want us to fill in. So here we have x squared plus 6x plus blank, okay? It wants me to fill it in for it to be a perfect square trinomial, right? We got to remember what that means. That means the same number added to itself gives you the middle, and then the same number multiplied to itself gives you the end, okay? So what number added to itself gives you 6? 3 and 3, right? So I need to use 3 times 3 to fill the end. So what will fill it in my blank? 9, okay? So we're making these perfect, and there's a reason why we're doing it, because we're going to be doing it a lot today. This is just a piece of our new strategy today. All right, the next one is x squared plus 8x, and then there's a plus 3 plus blank, okay? Same thing, we're going to make it perfect. What added to itself gave me 8? Start there first, okay? So this came from 4 plus 4. So all of this should equal 4 times 4, right? Which is 16. But there's already a 3 there. So instead of putting 16, good, we're going to fill this with 13. Yeah, you are. Because then it simplifies to 16. See that? 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay? But there's a little extra work they wanted us to do. All right, there's one more. It has x squared minus 22x minus 71 plus blank. All right? Let's start with this middle piece. What plus itself gives me negative 22?
11.
Negative 11, right? Negative 11 plus negative 11 gives me negative 22. Do you agree? Okay. So this piece on the end has to equal negative 11 times negative 11, which is 121. Okay, well, I already have something there. I already have negative 71. So negative 71 plus something is supposed to equal 121. So what are we going to fill it in with?
192.
There you go. Yes. Good. You have to add that over. So your blank equals 192. Okay? The reason why we're doing this, our strategy today is called completing the square. After we get my first one, x squared plus 6x plus 9, I could have rewritten that as x plus 3 squared. Okay? Because, let me step back a little bit. Some of you got confused just then. I saw it in your face. We said it was the same number, right? We did plus 3 twice to get 6. We did plus 3 twice to get 9, right? So if it's x plus 3 and x plus 3, that's the same thing as x plus 3 squared. Okay. Our strategy today is called completing the square. They're going to give you a trinomial that's not perfect. We're going to have to make it perfect like we did in the red, so we can rewrite it as a complete square to then do things like number 4 in our warm-up. Okay? The second one, after it simplified, it was x squared plus 8x plus 16. What number did we use twice? We used a positive 4 twice, right? So to write this as a square would have been x plus 4 squared. Okay? How about my last one? What number did we use twice? Negative 11. So the perfect square for this would have been x minus 11 squared. So this is the goal of what we're doing today. So we're going to complete the square to make it look like one of the blues. So that way we can use yesterday's strategy Got it open. We can use yesterday's strategy to solve using square roots.
Oh, I thought that was a marker.
Okay. Chapstick.
Oh, I thought you were putting a marker on you.
I'm losing it. It's because you're leaving us. My mind is just not in a good spot. All right. So, we got to remember all these fun pieces to help us with completing the square. All right? On your book, do you see at the top of page 137? Actually, I take back where we just were. There's a blank spot right underneath it, isn't there? Let's use that blank space. I want you to write p squared minus 12p plus 11 equals 0. And that blank spot right underneath where we were just doing our fill in the blanks. All right. Here we go. We are going to complete the square today. Complete the square. Looking at p squared minus 12p plus 11. Okay? Is this a perfect square trinomial? Meaning, the same number added to itself to give me negative 12. Does it multiply to itself to get 11? Okay. What plus itself gives you negative 12? 6 and 6, right? Negative 6 plus negative 6. So this, if it was perfect, should be negative 6 times negative 6. Is that what's there? No. Okay. So we're going to move it out of my way so I can make it pretty. Okay. I've already noticed that my like terms are all together. I have a 1 in front of the whole equation, and we're equal to 0. Okay. So from here, I'm going to move 11 out of my way. We're moving 11 out of my way. That divide by 1 just shows you that whatever number is in front, you should divide by it to get it out of the way. So if it's a 2, a 3, a 5, if there's anything in front of your squared, divide it out, okay? Okay. So we have moved 11 over, but we've left a gap. Because remember, we are trying to make it perfect. We're completing my square. So 11 shouldn't have been there. What should have been there? What is negative 6 times negative 6? Positive 36, right? To keep our equation balanced, when I add something to one side of my equation, you have to add it to the other side also. You got to keep it balanced. Okay? If you just added 36 to the one side, the whole equation is different and it's not the same thing anymore. So when we fill in my perfect piece, make sure you put it on both sides. Now it's perfect. Now we can rewrite it as something squared. What was that magic number at the top? Negative 6. So I can rewrite this as p minus 6 squared. Where did 25 come from? Where did 25 come from?
11 minus 36.
Negative 11 plus 36. Yep, that's how we got 25. So remember, negative 6, that came from, because negative 6 plus negative 6 gave me negative 12, and negative 6 times negative 6 gave me 36. Negative 6 is our magic number. So we can rewrite it as p minus 6 squared. We use the number twice. We combine like terms on this side to get my 25. Okay. Now we go back to yesterday. Now we can solve by square roots. I have a whole piece that's squared. So if the whole piece is squared, I'm going to square root the whole piece. Square rooting only gets rid of the square, so I still have p minus 6. Whoa, let's go back. We still have p minus 6 But now it's equal to what? It's not 25 anymore. It's 5 and negative 5. So when we square root both sides, p minus 6 is now it's free. We've broken it out of jail. Okay. 25 though is positive and negative 5. So I have p minus 6 equals 5, and I have p minus 6 equals negative 5. What is our next step? On either one to get p by itself. We're going to add 6, and we're doing it in both equations. So 5 plus 6 gives me 11, and negative 5 plus 6 gives me 1. So if I were to graph this parabola, it would be crossing at 1 and 11. Get that a little bit closer, like that. That's what that parabola would look like. How do we feel? Feel okay? It is lots of steps, but I like it because they repeat. It's the same exact steps every single time. Do we understand why it's called completing the square? Not yet. That's fine. Okay. All right. On the top right corner, where you see the 2x squared minus 8x plus 5, I want you to cross it out and put this one there instead. So the top right corner where you see the 2x squared equation, I want you to scratch that out and put my 5k squared plus 20k minus 60 equals 0. So cross that out. Yeah. We ain't gonna use that one. Yep, cross that one out. So change this one. Change this one. You got it? Zeke, this book is yours, so when you do have to leave us, if you want to take it with you, you can. Because I don't know where you'll be Algebra 1-wise at your new school. So I would take it with you. And you can always look at my website and look at my videos if you need to.
You text her on Remind.
Mm-hmm. He's still on Remind. Yep. So cross out this one and replace it with what's on the screen right now. I am still your teacher. I will forever be your teacher. So if you need me, you know how to get me. Good. Okay. All right, here we go. This one. Is it equal to 0? Yes. Okay. Have all of my like terms been combined? Did you see any 2k squares or 2k's or two numbers by themselves? No. They're each individual. We're good to go. Is my first number a 1? No. What's my first number? A 5. Boo. We don't like it. How am I going to get rid of it? Let's divide this whole thing by 5. Divide it all by 5. Oh, I like these so much better. K squared plus 4k minus 12 equals 0. Because 0 divided by 5 is still 0, right? So equation is still equal to 0. So I gave you one extra step for this one. Now that it's the way that I like it, is it perfect? What plus itself gives you 4? 2. Is 2 times itself negative 12? Nope. It is not. This guy should not belong here. Let's move him over. How am I going to move 12 over? We're going to add it. Good. So we're left with my blanks. I got to put blanks on both sides because when I do make my trinomial a perfect square, I got to add that same number to both sides. Okay, so we said 12 didn't belong. What should have been there? Good. How did you get 4? Good. Good. Because 2 plus 2 gave us that 4, right? So that means I should have filled in my blank with the 2 times 2, which is 4. All right? From here, we're going to combine like terms on this side, right? And we're going to rewrite this as the perfect square. What was it squared? What number did I use twice? 2. So it's going to be, what's the variable? K plus 2. K plus 2 squared. That was the number we used twice, was a positive 2. So it becomes K plus 2 squared equals 16. All the way up to this point, that was complete the square. Okay. After this point, what do we get to use? Now we're going to use square roots, which is what we did yesterday. Okay. So up to this point is new, but now we got it from yesterday. What am I going to use? What am I going to do to both sides? Square root. So K plus 2 squared, the square root of that becomes just K plus 2. The only piece that gets eliminated is the squared. Okay? So it becomes K plus 2. And then the other side, what is the square root of 14? I'm sorry. That is not the right number. What is the square root of 16?
4.
It is 4. It is positive and negative 4. Remember, we have 2 equations here, right? I have K plus 2 equals 4. I also have K plus 2 equals negative 4. So after this step, you got to spread them out. We got 2 equations from here. We got the positive 4 and the negative 4. Final step. What am I going to do to get the K's on their own?
Solve.
How? You're right. How? Good. Subtract 2. So, where is this parabola crossing the x-axis? At 2 and negative 6. So this parabola looks something like that. 4 minus 2 is 2. Negative 4 minus 2 gives you the negative 6. That's where the 2 different numbers come from. This is one of my favorite things in algebra. I love completing the square. Makes my math heart happy.
I'm so glad, because it makes me...
All right, questions? Courtney, stop taking pictures. All right, my next one. Let's flip the page. Do I have room there? Just kidding, go back. Okay, number 2. Do you see where it says 3x squared?
Yes.
Cross it out. Put what's up here. N squared minus 18n plus 40. That one right there. Where you see the 3x squared, cross out that whole equation. I want you to replace it with n squared equals 18n plus 40. You see it? Did you find it? Good, good, good. Good. Okay. Tell me what you see about this one. How is this one different? Just write the new one. Oh, you do. You have it.
It's equal to 8.
Okay, it has no 0. There's some other stuff on the side, right? We need it to be equal to 0. Okay? N squared is positive, right? So let's move everything over to the n squared so n squared stays a positive 1. So how am I going to move the 18n?
You're going to subtract.
Subtract it. Yep. And how am I going to move the 40?
You're going Which divides?
No.
Wait, no.
We're going to subtract both of them. So it becomes n squared minus 18n plus 40.
I see it now.
You see it?
Yeah.
Okay. This becomes n squared minus 18n minus 40. Okay? We moved it all over to the n squared. We should focus on what's happening in math right now. All right. Before I start moving things and spreading them apart and adding things, okay, is it perfect or not? Because if it is perfect, I don't have to do all that stuff. So what plus itself gives me 18? Negative 18, excuse me. Should be negative 9, right? Does negative 9 times negative 9 give me negative 40? No. So 40's in my way. How are we going to get it out of my way? Add it to the other side. Good. So we need to fill in the blank with negative 9 times negative 9. What should be there? 81, yes. So let's add 81 to both sides. It's perfect now. What was that perfect number? What was that magic number that we used to make it happen? What kind of a 9? Look up here. Negative 9. So what's your binomial going to look like? N minus 9. Good. So this number right here in the middle, that's coming from what we added to itself and what we multiplied to itself. That number is negative 9. Can you wait till the end of this problem? Thank you. All right. Have we completed the square?
Yes.
Yes, we have completed the square. Now we have to just solve with my square roots. Okay? So up to this point, you have completed the square. Now, let's solve. What's my first step in solving now? Square root both sides. Good. So if I square root n minus 9 squared, what does that give me? N minus 9. Yep. And if I square root 121, what does that give me? 11. And? Negative 11. Good. So we really have two equations to solve here, don't we? N minus 9 equals 11, and n minus 9 equals negative 11. Tell me what to do next. Oh, I'm waiting for Rami.
So you put on the parentheses?
After this, how do I get n by itself?
Add 9 to the other side?
Yes, good. Yep, you can go. Good. We're going to add 9. So, where is this parabola? Where is it crossing my x-axis?
Negative 2 and 19.
I agree with negative 2, but it should also be 20. So negative 11 plus 9 gives you negative 2. 11 plus 9 gives me 20. So this parabola looks a little bit like that. All right, please get out your summary sheet. Please get out your summary sheet. For today's summary, we're going to solve one. So your question should be, solve using solve using complete the square.
Oh, my bad.
You literally just kicked the shoes off of him. This is our summary today. So we are going to solve by completing the square. Your summary question today is solve by completing the square, and I want you to write x squared minus 10x plus 26 equals 8. And since I'm feeling nice, we'll do it together. So, no excuse for anyone to not have today's summary on their paper. No, put it right here. Solve by completing the square. You can do the work right here. All right, we have x squared minus 10x plus 26 equals 8. Hey, I'm going to move on. If you miss this, you will get a minus 20. You should have 5 stamps. You don't have this one, that's a minus 20. What do we, then you need to get it from somebody. Get the day you missed. All right, what do we notice about this problem? Not equal to 0, so what should I do first? Minus 8. Good. Subtract the 8 and make it equal to 0. Now we have x squared minus 10x plus 18. All right, let's decide, is it perfect? What plus itself gives you negative 10? Negative 5 and negative 5, right? Is negative 5 times negative 5 18? No. So what do I have to do with 18? We got to kick them out. Move them over by subtracting. Yep, so go ahead and subtract them to the other side. Make sure you leave your gaps. There you go. So what should have been there?
25.
Good. And how did you get 25? Negative 5 times negative 5. So negative 5 plus negative 5 gave us the negative 10. Negative 5 times negative 5 is how we can make it perfect. Okay. So now we can complete my square. This becomes what squared?
Perfect square.
What is it though? What was the perfect number? Negative 5. So my binomial is going to be x. What was the magic number? It's negative 5, right? So it becomes x minus 5. And then negative 18 plus 25 gives me 7. We have completed the square. So now what am I going to use to solve it? Square root. So go ahead and square root both sides. What is the square root of x plus 5, x minus 5 squared? Just x minus 5. Good. Square root of 7, though, there isn't one. So it's just going to stay positive and negative square root of 7. Nothing gets to break out. So our two equations are x minus 5 equals square root of 7 and x minus 5 equals negative square root of 7. We're still doing it the same way, just nothing got to come out of the radical. 7 had to stay inside. What do we still have to do to get x by itself? Add 5. Okay. I'm going to write it differently. So we get x equals, you with me? Square root of 7 plus 5. And we get negative square root of 7 plus 5. We added 5 to both of them. That's what we get. Okay. So this one I wanted to do with you because square root of 7 didn't simplify, and I think you would have made it harder than what it was. Okay? If it can't simplify, it just stays the square root of whatever.
Wait, is that our summary?
Yep. I'm gonna walk around to stamp your summary and to give you your homework sheet. There are 6 problems for you to do tonight for completing this square. So we're gonna work on that for the couple minutes we got.